What's going on, everybody? It's Bert with Disgruntled Vet Investments, and today I'm going to be going over what I do to day trade. I normally don't day trade. I wasn't a big fan until recently. The market conditions just haven't been good. So you have to learn how to adapt to the market. You're not going to beat the market. So I would suggest being able to be flexible, adapt, and overcome. So I trade the VWAP strategy. I basically trade the bounces off of the VWAP lines, and I'll be going over exactly how I do that. I haven't posted a video in a while. I've been pretty busy, but I'm going to start trying to stay on top of it and keep posting. As you guys can see, the market is down, so if you were holding, it might not have been good for you. It did make this bounce, so hopefully it can come back up, but I'm not happy with what it's doing right now, so I'm not gonna hold anything overnight. So the first stock that I'm gonna go over is Square Company, SQ, and this is what I traded yesterday. Now I can show you guys this. This is my VWAP line right here. These green dotted lines. So they have a top, middle, and a bottom VWAP, and then I have these indicators set up. My RSI, my MACD. These are all exponential moving averages, or EMAs. So I have my 9, 20, 50, and 200. I don't have the 100 in there. I just feel like I could do without it. But yeah, so I'll go over what I kind of do. So I only buy when it is right up on this line. I try not to get in on things like this just because I want to get the best possible entry. And so, if you bought 100 shares here, you could be down potentially $60 before it even bounces. So I just wait. My own personal preference, you guys can get in whenever you want. I just like to wait for the best possible entry, just so I don't have to ride it down. There's no point in doing that if you can avoid it. So like this, it got right up on here, pushed down. These were buyer's candles, but it wasn't wanting to break above this. So this is a place where you could have entered. I didn't. I don't like to trade this early because this is when stocks tend to really take off. So I usually wait till, I don't know, 10-15 minutes into the market open. Right here again, if you wanted to get a quick scalp on, well, I guess this would have been more than a scalp. You can see this resistance right here on this line. It's pretty accurate. It's happened more times than not that if it touches this, it's going to bounce in the other direction. Say in a perfect world, you got this nice entry right up on this line, and you wrote it down, came back and retested. That usually happens. You can just keep riding this thing down. I would have exited right here, or you could wait until you start to see some signs of a reversal. Probably exit right here, but you can barely see up in the top right here. That was $3.70. So if you have 100 shares, that's $370. It's pretty good. I did buy. I made a mistake on this. With the market being down, these tech stocks follow the market very closely. So I should have stayed away from it. Now that I look back at it, yeah, I should have done that, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I got in around here. I saw this, kind of a buyer's candle, and the RSI was low, the MACD was low, and I got in right around this area, right when it started to look like it was going to bounce up. And I was hoping to make this on it, so that would have been pretty good. 4.25%, or however many shares you have. I usually buy 100 or 200 shares of this stock, so that could have been a good chunk of money in only, what this says, it's 8 minutes. That's pretty good. So I got in, we'll just say this area right here, Let's see. Bam. And it got rejected. And I should have just sold, but I didn't. I had good faith in this, that it was going to make a reversal. Just by looking at the RSI, I can see that the RSI is starting to trend up and the MACD is also starting to curl. However, it did not want to do that. I was down a good chunk of money right here. Should have cut losses, but it was just one of those things where your emotions get the best of you. I have a hard time cutting losses, especially day trading, just because it always happens to me. I'll cut losses and it will reverse, and I could have made a good chunk of money, but I didn't. So I don't know. I had good faith in my technical analysis right here, and I turned out to be right, but I just didn't get in when I should have. Normally, it doesn't stay below this too long. This stock did today. It did it right here again. Like I said, normally that doesn't happen very often, but I could see the RSI was starting to trend up. I think that's one of the best things to spot reversals is your RSI and your MACD. With those combined, you have a pretty good chance, along with this big support by the VWAP line. So it did start to curl up, and I was still down a good chunk here, and it pushed back down all the way back down to here, and this was not a good sign. I should not have been in here. I was down about $1,000 at this point. Should have sold, didn't. I still had good faith that this was going to turn, and it did. I started to curl up, and then as you can see, this RSI started to curl down, but I wanted to wait for it to really break this line. You can see how it sticks across here. This is kind of like a support area as well. So I wanted it to break that before I got out. My MACD was going over, but it did not actually turn into the red. I think it was like 1 or 2 candles right here, but I could see these buyers candles coming up and it wanted to push along up to this 9 EMA. It did. Once it started showing more strength, I broke even at this point, and I think I sold right around here just because I had these 2 little candles and I didn't want to go back and break even. So I locked in some profit. I could have locked in a lot more. I could have been, let's see, if I sold right at this EMA right here, I could have made $270 per 100 shares. So I had 400 shares in at this point. It's a lot bigger than I normally trade. I shouldn't have bought so many shares, but I tried to kind of scale down my average around this area. I bought in some more around here, so this was my new average. But yeah, as you can see, it holds to this line pretty good, and then I think no, we didn't have it at the end of the day. Let's see. Another stock that I traded yesterday was LABU. As you can see, it bounces. I bought this in the morning right here. This isn't the best setup for it, but I had good faith that it was going to come up. It started lower, but then it made it up real quick. I got in around this area, and I sold around right here once it started getting pushed down. Like I said, you have 100 shares. It's $114 in like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. You could have done the same thing right here. You saw I was pushing back up out of this VWAP. Maybe waited for some confirmation because the RSI was it was still pushing up, but you could have got in. I wouldn't have bought in right here. I would have just bought in right here, and then if it pushed down, cut losses. But like I said, if you had done that, every time it bounces out of there, and then you can lock in either at the middle VWAP or the top, it's a good chunk of money. 5.9% in just a few minutes. Same thing here. You could have bought in here, and then you see these seller candles with the wicks on top. That means it has resistance. You could have bought in here. You would have been down a little bit, but if you had held it, you can see that the RSI and MACD are turning down. This is pretty accurate indicators in my opinion. So say you did buy right here once it broke there, you could write it down to the bottom. These are sellers candles, so I probably would have held until this buyer candle. I probably would have sold on the first red, or not on the first red, on this next candle right after the buyers. Another 4.9%. And then if you wanted to, you could have bought the bounce off of this because you have these buyer candles. These are strong lines. They're very accurate. I think, let me see. Yeah, so we had another good play right here. Big sell-off, and right here you see this big push up off of the bottom VWAP. You can see your RSI is pushing up. Your MACD is now crossed over. Now big candles, I heard they usually come from people covering profits when they are shorting the stock. So I probably wouldn't have bought in right here just because of the huge sell-off and the one big green candle. I probably would have missed out on this trade. But, you know, say you did, just theoretically you bought every time it pushed outside of the line. You bought right here. Even on this candle, that's 1%. All these big buyers candles, you held until this. 2.6%. You kept holding. You know, you could have made, if you sold at the middle VWAP, 4.1%. And that can be big. It's not a lot of people can make that in a week. Not a lot of people make money in general on the stock market. So if you can consistently do that and you have so many setups, your potential is endless with this. I really like this setup. And right now the market isn't the best for swing trading, so you know, you could have gotten in and out of some stocks. But right here's another setup, and I like this setup because it happens so much. Right here, these are big buyers candles. I would have bought in right here. This is where I would have gotten in. I wasn't looking at this stock in the morning, but it was on my watch list. Sold right here in the middle. Well, I mean, I probably would have held because it pushed through so quick. So say you sold at this red line, which is a 50 EMA, 4.8%. That's huge. There's so many plays on this that you can make 5+% easy in a matter of minutes. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. I would have sold once it got rejected by here again. Like 6 minutes to make over 5%. And then you have it right here. Pushes out. Like I said, theoretically you buy every time it pushes out and go in the opposite direction. You would have been down less than 1%, a little over 0.5%, and you could have rode this close to the middle. Once you saw this support, you could have sold right here, and that's 2.65% right there. You see the RSI is overbought. The MACD is pretty high right here. And each indicator tells a part of the story. Well, yeah, it tells its own part of the story, and the whole goal is to figure out what's going on. So if you can put all of these parts together, you have a pretty good chance of being correct. Outside of the VWAP, that's your first bearish signal, outside of the upper VWAP anyways. The RSI is overextended, bearish signal. The MACD is also overextended, bearish signal. And then with all three of those combined, you can make a good educated guess that it's probably going to turn. This is the power hour, the last hour of the market. You see this volume increase. I don't know if you guys can see, but in the beginning of the market, beginning of the day during market open, the volume was way up here. Towards the middle, it dies off, just how it does every day. You have these big spikes that happens. But towards the end of the day, it picks up. It does this with almost every single stock. You can check out Twitter. So right here, this was actually did not have very good volume. But as you can see, it's still, during the middle of the day, it's super low. Towards the end, it picks up, especially after market. Right here, we have this big spike in volume, and then it pushed the price back up. But right here, we can check this out. The bounce off of the middle line. I don't normally like to buy the middle just because it could go either way. As you can see, it's more choppy. I like to play off the top and the bottoms, but you know, some people do. You can still see that this is, in my opinion, these are bullish candles. I had the support right here. It pushed up, got rejected by the EMA, but still kind of held in there. Never pushed below right here. You could have bought in and made this percent gains. I wouldn't have taken that trade. That's a little more risky. But over here, you can see this pushes up. Like I said, I like to buy as soon as it pushes down out of the lower VWAP line, and instantly you could have made 0.5%. Held these big buyers candles. You could have sold right up here for 1%, or you can ride it all the way up to the middle VWAP, and that's 1.8%. This is a cheap stock, so you could probably afford more shares of this than you could like Square Company or something that's in the high 80s to $90 range. So that's pretty much all I do as far as it comes to day trading. That's the strategy that I like. That's what I'm going to stick to doing. You guys can give it a try if you want. I've had good success with it. You can set up your indicators like how mine are, just so you can maybe watch this video a couple times and really get a feel for like what I'm saying. But I'll go over this again. This is the 9 exponential moving average. This is the 20. This is the 50, and this is the 200. You can put the 100 in there if you wanted to. It'd probably be around this area, but I find these to work the best for me. And just make sure you're waiting for the perfect setup. Day trading is all about, you know, precision entries. So you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for a good entry. You want to get the best entry. It's not good enough to get in like, let's see. So if you're shorting, you don't want to wait till it gets close right here. You want to wait till it's up here. Like this is 1%, you could have been down. And you still would have been right saying it was going short, but now you made 1%, but you were also down 1%. So you could have made, you know, 2% on this. Easy. And that's what it's all about. Maximizing profits, minimizing losses. Right out here, you also have less risk. It's probably not going to push out like it did. It did do it right here, but this is very uncommon. And you know, if you would have bought going short right here, yeah, you'd have been down a little over 1%, but you could have cut losses there, or even rode it back down into here, broke even. You know, you just have to have good risk management still, but make sure you're waiting for good entries. Don't go for mediocre entries or just like an average entry. You want to get the best possible entry. You know, yeah, it is hard being patient, waiting, looking at your screen for even just a minute straight can be stressful, and it feels like it's a long time, but you just have to be disciplined and confident in what you're doing. I would have missed out on some good trades on this right here. I wouldn't have bought right there, I don't think. You can see that the the oscillator for the MACD is going up, and the MACD is curling. This looks like it's kind of building strength, but not a lot. And it did have a push, but it pushed back down, and I just wouldn't have gotten in this. It wasn't an entry where I like. So I'm not mad about losing out on that. You know, you could have scalped these all day. And I'll go back to Square Company real quick. I want to show you guys. Let's see. So big sell-offs usually equal big spikes. All the short sellers are covering profits, and all the buyers are also looking to get in cheap for the day. So you could have made a huge profit on that. I didn't. I made a profit, but not as much as I could have. I think the only thing keeping me in this trade was the 5-minute chart. So I got in right around this area. I thought it was going to bounce. Did not bounce. I waited, and I noticed that my 5-minute chart was still strong, showing bullish signals. That's the only thing keeping me in this. So it's very important to look at multiple time frames. If I had just looked at the 1 minute, let's see, right here when I got in, this was showing bearish signals. It wasn't wanting to push up. Even right around here, it started to sell off, and this is bearish. I probably would have gotten out of here if I was just looking at the 1 minute. But like I said, I noticed that it didn't push down below this right here, this line going straight across. It kind of acts as a support, but the main thing was this 5 minute chart keeping me in here. It was still showing strength. Yeah, it has pullbacks. Everything's gonna have pullbacks. It's just the nature of the beast. That's how it works. But you just need to be confident in what you're doing, and make sure you go over and over again about these charts, so you can be confident in what you're trading and how you're trading it. Right here, if you would have bought right on the line, you know, you would have made a killing. Say you sold at the lows, or right when it, say you sold right here, hypothetically, and you had 100 shares. That's $875 in, let's see how many minutes. It's not going to show on my screen right there. 19 minutes. I don't know any job that you can make that kind of money, besides trading stocks, obviously. But you can't be a teacher and make that kind of money. Or, you know, maybe you want to be a teacher. If that makes you happy, then by all means do that. But if you're trying to make money and that's your main priority, as far as work, you know, I strongly recommend being disciplined when you're trading stocks. It's hard. It gets the best of us, but it's just something that you have to learn how to overcome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can go over this on-demand feature that I just found out about. I think it's pretty cool. It's great practice. If you have a Thinkorswim account, I strongly recommend doing this, maybe on the weekends, studying, going over this video some more, and then you can go practice. So basically what this does is it takes you back in time to any of these dates. You know, we can go to May 8th. We'll go to May 8th and press go. It should take us back to that date, and then we can put what time in. Alright, well, let's speed this up. I think you can do 3. This speeds it up 3 times the normal speed. Sorry, my internet's not the best right now, but okay, here it is. So you can see how this is playing it in live time. I didn't start it right at market open, but you can start it right before market open. You could have shorted this. You could have waited for this bullish candles right here. The RSI is low, the MACD is curling. It's right on the VWAP line. You could have bought in right in here. This is huge. I would have bought in over here. And, you know, instantly in, let's see, 11 minutes, 2.5%. And you can get practice. This has already happened, so you're not going to make any actual money. They give you, I think, 10 grand to practice with. Yeah. So I've just used this yesterday. I made, you know, $614 trading it. I like Square Company. It moves. It's a good stock to make profit on, I think. I wish I would have held it. When I first started trading a year ago, I started trading on October 10th of last year. So October 10th, 2017 is when I made my first trade. This was one of the first stocks I ever bought in. I bought it around $34. Right now it's at 51, but real time it's I don't know. I know it pushed up over like to $101 or something. I think that's over like 200%, but yeah, that would have been good to get in on. So yeah, I recommend trying this stuff out. You know, it can take a while, but you know, on the weekends, if you need some extra practice, go do this. You know, don't look up what it's going to do. Make it, you know, so you still have to do your own technical analysis and figure out what's going to happen. This looks, you know, it looks bearish to me. I'd probably buy it. right around, well, I'd probably buy it right there, and then hope that it can squeeze down to at least over here. But I mean, if you're going to get in right now, I wouldn't get in yet. I'd wait for it to get closer to one of these lines, the top, middle, or bottom VWAP line. Yeah, that's everything I have to say so far in this video. I don't think there's anything else that I need to go over for this, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment and subscribe. Make sure to like the video as well, and I'll try and post some videos that you guys want to see. So just leave a comment and let me know what you guys want to learn. If you guys want me to try out different strategies, I can go and back test them for you on this, and I can post a video to see how they work for me as well. There you go. So yeah, it's pushing down. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.